People always say homeschooling gets easier once the kids get older, but honestly, I think it just gets different, if not even harder at times. When my kids were little, homeschooling was picture books on the couch, educational board games on the floor, read out loud books and cuddles and blankets, poetry tea time, crafts and Play-Doh all over the place, science experiments all over the kitchen. You could see that the learning was happening. And although those years were physically exhausting, there was something simpler and more joyful about them. And now I'm homeschooling middle school and high school, and wow, nobody talks about this enough. There's so many channels that talk about homeschooling the younger years. So I'm here to be the voice that talks about the real life behind homeschooling middle and high schoolers. But today we're going to talk about your teenagers. If you want to know some tips on homeschooling middle schoolers, I have a video that I just recorded. You can check that out in my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you about the truth behind how it is to homeschool teens, and that it's nothing like the little years. What surprised me the most, how I'm dealing with it, what's been harder, what's been better, and what I've learned along the way. Hey guys, it's Vani from Mrs. Mom's Homeschool, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I make videos to help you on your homeschooling journey, and today we're talking about homeschooling teens. In my last video, we talked about homeschooling middle schoolers, and if you have younger kids, I have a ton. The whole channel is dedicated to the younger kids. So now we're going to start delving into middle school and high school. What surprised me the most about homeschooling teenagers was all of a sudden they didn't want to do the fun things anymore. Like all of a sudden my son didn't want to go to the park anymore with me and go on nature walks. Like he was my nature walk buddy. And also what surprised me a lot was how much it hurt that I'm no longer doing all these little crafts and little activities and field trips with him, because now he doesn't want to do any of those things anymore. And that's a mourning process on its own. It really is. Thank God I still have a 10-year-old. So that's been the hardest thing for me, is just adjusting to how to meet his needs when I really am a pro at meeting the needs of younger children. What's been better is that we're able to connect in a more mature way. There's different things that we can talk about, or shows that we can watch that we couldn't when he was younger, and movies and things like that, so I can share different parts of myself with him and he can come to me for anything. So that's what's been the best thing about homeschooling a teen. Now I just want to give you 5 things that I learned along the way to help you navigate these teen years as well. I do have an older daughter in college. She's about to be 19, and so the difference between raising my daughter and my son are extremely different, because my daughter ended up in public school for a few years, which shifted a lot of things. So now I'm fully homeschooling my son. He will not be going to any type of school ever in his life. Or maybe college, and maybe I'll let him go there. So teens need more conversations than crafts. Some teenagers like to talk about the books they've read, about documentaries, about the news, about real world things. For me, when I get down to sitting down with my teen and homeschooling him, he wants to talk about everything but school. Like this is his way to get out of it. But instead of quieting him up and saying, just finish your math work, I try my best to sit there and engage with him, because he's actually downstairs with me, opening up and talking about things that are important to him. Even if I don't understand what he's talking about, I pretend, I nod and smile. I'm just kidding. Or I ask questions. I want to say that homeschooling in the teen years, I mean, this is my first year of homeschooling high school. I want to say that it's become more meaningful, and that my son is asking deeper questions, and that he's more interested in learning. But that is just not the case. For me personally, it's harder to get my teen motivated to want to do his work. And the same thing with my daughter at the teenage years. It's just, for me, it was harder to get them motivated to want to do their schoolwork and to do it properly and to do it well. Number 2, independence becomes the goal. So in the last video, we talked about how middle school, the goal should be connecting more. And so now in your high school years, if you have a solid connection with your child, now you can push for more independence. When they're little, you are involved in everything. You're basically the manager of their entire life, not just their education, but like everything. You know everything that's going on when you're homeschooling your child and they're little. But when they get older, it's not the same. They're doing online courses, they're doing books on their own. You don't have to grade anything, everything's online. Or maybe you're just doing the grading, but you're not doing the lessons, or they're taking co-op classes and someone else is teaching them, and you really just have no idea what the heck your kid is learning. You just are checking off the boxes. Okay, he's got a credit for this, a credit for that. And so that's something that's challenging for me. Was I don't even know what he's learning right now, and I want to be more involved. But at the same time, I also want him to be more independent. So it's like a catch-22, trying to find that balance. My natural instinct is to hover and make sure he's got this done and got that done, and make sure that everything is done right and his handwriting is neat and all of those things. But this is not the age to do that anymore. This is the age to teach them time management skills, responsibility, problem solving, and self-discipline, because they are being prepared for adulthood now. As scary as that sounds. I had to step back this year and realize that letting my teen struggle was a big part of his learning process. At first, when he was taking classes that he never took before, I wanted to just step right in and excuse him for everything he didn't understand. But I realized that by me not doing that and just stepping back and letting everything take its course, he's become a much more responsible kid and being able to do a lot more than I thought that he could. And honestly, raising teens has made me realize that habits, life skills, communication, character, did I say that already? Matters just as much, if not more, than their academics. You're creating a whole person here, not just the academic part of it. You have to be connected to them and reach them in their soul and their heart and their minds, and be there to guide them and not let them just hide away all the time in their rooms. Even if they are in their rooms all the time, it's okay to go in. I bother my son every hour. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? But I realize that when I'm not home for about 4 hours, he's calling me like, where are you, Mom? When are you coming home? And I say, do you miss me popping in your room, bothering you every hour? And he's like, yes. So they really actually don't mind that. I'm not going in there. I don't go in there every time and say, you gotta clean this room, or take that plate downstairs, or did you do your homework? Like, I'm trying to just pop in and say, hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? Okay. Who you playing with? Or, just trying to do a gradual, light connection with him. Okay, this one was hard. Number 3, you cannot force motivation. When my kids were younger, we did screen time tokens. Those worked so well for my son. That tokens for getting along with his sister, for being obedient, like listening fast, and then for doing a good full homeschool day. And that worked fantastic. And I had sticker charts, and I had all kinds of incentives, and motivating them was fairly easy. But now, nothing works. They are their own person, and they have their own moods. You can provide the structure, the encouragement, the opportunities, and the curriculum and the routines, but you cannot force motivation. It just doesn't work. Trust me, I have tried and failed over and over again. And I think this is where a lot of homeschool moms panic, because we feel like we are responsible for everything. And your kid's not doing school or not doing what they're supposed to be doing, then somehow we are failing. But I've learned that relationship is so much more important at this time. If all they get from me is disappointment and pressure, then they're gonna shut down. Teens need support, guidance, and trust. Sometimes growth happens slower than we want it to. Sometimes they're trying to figure themselves out. Sometimes they need room to fail and then to recover. That doesn't mean not to have any actual expectations. That just means you're parenting actual humans, not running a little perfect homeschool machine like every homeschool mother wants. Number 4, the emotional side hits harder. People always talk about how exhausting the little years are physically, and they are. But when you get to the emotional years of the teen years, that is a lot harder. Nobody prepares you for that. It just feels emotionally heavy in a completely different way. Because now we're dealing with identity, friendships, future plans, stress, sometimes dating. Not in my house, I'm just kidding, but sometimes dating, social pressure, independence, and very big emotions. And as a homeschool parent, you're usually walking very closely with them through all of that, because you get to spend so much time together. And I think one of the hardest things is realizing that you can't protect them from every feeling. As much as I want to take away all of their pain and all of their hurt or sadness or any loneliness or any feelings that they're feeling, I can't. I can support them, pray for them, and guide them, but I can't shield them from everything. And unfortunately, I can't live life for them. And honestly, sometimes homeschooling teens stretches you just as much as it stretches them. It totally exposes your control issues, your fears, your anxieties, and your expectations too. And it is very humbling. Not that I asked for it, but just saying. And number 5, homeschooling teens does not have to look perfect. I swear I make videos on what we're gonna do, all these wonderful things we're gonna do, like for our 9th grade curriculum, and my son's gonna do this and volunteer here and take the SAT prep, and then like the end of the year, like nothing got done. Like 2 subjects have gotten done. So it doesn't have to look perfect or exactly how you planned it out to look in the beginning. You can always have those expectations, but sometimes you have to go with the flow. I feel like homeschooling the little years is so easy to make it look cute online with their little desks and their school supplies and their crafts and those, you know, those B-rolls on their cute little faces. And then you get to these teenage years and they don't want to be anywhere near any of that stuff. Also, teen homeschooling is messier. It's conversations, it's transcripts, it's credits, it's difficult conversations, it's finding out what they want to do with their lives, it's managing attitudes and managing independence and schoolwork, managing independent work and working through all of that, and trying to find balance between real life and academics. And sometimes learning happens in ways that don't fit neatly into your planner. That beautiful, not consumed planner you bought at the homeschool convention for your child to use and they haven't used it not once. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes they learn through jobs, through volunteering, through reading books late at night, through failures, and through life. I think one of the biggest things I'm learning about homeschooling is not creating the perfect aesthetic, but raising capable human beings who know how to think, communicate, and feel. Who also know how to learn and how to grow. And honestly, even though the teen years are harder in some ways, they are beautiful. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.